Hi Jacob, I have chosen the text Dulce et decorum est. I've chosen it because it really touches me, and I think it's a very deep text with a deeper meaning. And I've also had some soldiers in my family that has tried some of these things that is described in the text. And well, the two great wars have always been an interest of mine. The text's first stanza is about how they're walking through this. They're walking through the war zone, but it seems, like a quite peaceful place. And they're going to this camp, and they're all just quiet, and they're just walking and like zombies, because they're lame of all these events that have happened to them, I suppose. And then they're hit by a gas attack, and one of the men, he's not quick enough to get his mask on, that is referred to as a helmet. And I suppose that it's chlorine gas, where the lungs are filled with fluid. Because he refers to this to he's drowning and choking, and as a big green sea, in this big green sea, and of course it isn't like actually in a sea, but he's drowning like within himself because of this gas attack. And in the next stanza he talks about how they put him on the wagon because nobody's helping him, because there wasn't anything really to do about these things. They had nothing to prevent him from dying. And he describes how he sees him falling towards him in his dreams and drowning and choking, and he's just laying in the back of this wagon choking and making these sounds, and his eyes are withering, and it's a very horrible sight for him. And he dreams about it, and it's probably because he has post-traumatic stress syndrome from the war, and I guess most of the guys and the soldiers have that at that point. And he then refers to my friend, which are the people that encouraged to go into war, all these young men. And he says my friend not to be aggressive, and because he knows that if they had seen all these things firsthand, they wouldn't say such a thing, and he doesn't blame them for that, because they don't know what they're talking about, because they haven't experienced it. They are telling that lie that it is sweet and proper to die for one's country, and he says no, it is not sweet, and it's it's terrible, and you see the most horrifying things, and they will haunt you in your dreams as well. The language is, I guess you could say, perceptive. Well, you have to understand all these words, because there are some strange words, and in that way it's not an easy language he's talking in, because you have to know what all these words mean. Like lime, most people think of a fruit, but in this case it's that substance that will melt and burn your skin away. Very not like a lime fruit. And the language kind of has to be that way, or else it doesn't give the same image, that it's repulsive. And I also find the language quite repulsive, but it is important, because or else you wouldn't understand how terrible it is to be at war. And I guess the biggest theme is that, to make people stop telling this lie about that it is good and nice to die for your country, but that war is not a nice thing, and that it will haunt you for the rest of your life. And I think it's very easy actually to relate to modern literature, because beforehand you saw like all these poems that was encouraging this thing of dying for your country, and that was a good thing. And but you know, at First World War, these gas things were invented, and they weren't really prepared for this, and suddenly war wasn't, you know, fighting with your hands or a knife or sabers. It was guns and tanks and gas and fire, and it was a lot worse, and you couldn't really protect yourself against these really horrible things. And then after the war, like this poem is from after, you see the real, the ugly face of war. And I just think it's a really beautiful poem, and yeah, it really touches me. So that was my presentation of the text, and I of course hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.